Hello, welcome to another episode of Thy Truth. Finding your truth with Efemena. In today's episode, we're going to talk about finding closure after heartbreak. It's an experience that everyone goes through at some point in their lives, whether it's a marriage or it's a long-term relationship or a fling or short-term relationship, whatever it is, the end of a relationship can leave us feeling hurt and lost. Personally, I've been through my share of heartbreaks and I know how hard it can be to move on. When my serious relationship ended, I felt like my world was falling apart. It felt like there was nowhere I was going to get out of it. I couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept that things between us were over, and I kept trying to reach out. I kept trying to rekindle our romance. But as time went on, I realized that holding on to something that was no longer there was causing me more pain, more hurt. I had to come to terms with the reality of the situation. It was time to let go. Now, one crucial key to moving from a heartbreak is finding closure, understanding and acceptance of what happened in the past relationship, putting it behind you and opening yourself up to a new possibility or possibilities. It is helpful to think about what went wrong in the relationship, why things turned sour, or why things didn't work out, and what you can learn from it. So totally forgetting about the relationship and, this is it, I'm done with this, not dealing with it, not learning from it. Sometimes it doesn't really help. So it's good to understand what went wrong if possible, understand the patterns or behaviors that contributed to the breakup. It could actually give you insight into yourself and into your future relationships. So, how does one truly find closure? Is it even possible? Yes, it is. It is possible to find closure, and there are several steps one can take to find closure. Number one, accepting the reality of the situation. You need to understand that the past relationship is over. I know it's easier said than done. Just take a deep breath and think about it. If it was going to work out, it would have worked out, but it's not working out. So accepting it and realizing that chasing someone who no longer wants to be in a relationship with you is only hurting you more. Yeah, that will, to me, would be the first step, accepting the reality of the situation. Number two, allow yourself feel the pain. Allow yourself feel the emotions, the hurt that comes with a heartbreak. Cry, shout, do whatever you need to do to process your emotions. It's important. It's important to acknowledge and accept your feelings for what they are. It is what it is. I mean, personally, it was necessary for me to heal, and the best way that I could do that, I had to take some time, space for myself, and allowed myself to just feel all the emotions. I cried, I screamed, I would listen to music. But I mean, if you're lucky enough to have friends and family or loved ones around that you can talk to, great. But it's important to just let yourself feel the pain. It will pass. Number three, take some space for yourself. You don't have to jump into another relationship or date someone immediately after a breakup. Take some time to be by yourself. Do things you love. Focus on rebuilding whatever, it could be your self-confidence or your self-esteem or whatever it is. Just take some time for yourself. While I know it's tempting to jump into a new relationship or a casual fling or a one-night stand just to get over a heartbreak or a breakup, I know it's tempting, but you would end up hurting yourself. And you know what? You would end up hurting someone else or the person you're jumping into that relationship with. It's important to give yourself time to heal before you go into anything new. It's not fair on them that you hurt them in the process. Maybe you want to rebound or substitute for that feeling. And yeah, it's not fair and it's not a nice feeling, even for yourself. Number 4, avoid unhealthy coping mechanisms. I mean, I'm talking about alcohol, A friend of mine would tell me, if you want to have a glass or two of, if you want to have a bottle of wine, in fact, do it because, you want to just chillax and have fun, not because you're trying to cope through a situation. And that's what some of us going through some feelings would do sometimes. We would cope with alcohol, some would cope with drugs or rebound relationships just to cope. But if you can, avoid these unhealthy coping mechanisms. Instead, talk to someone you trust, seek professional help, or just channel your energy into productive activities, hobbies, or exercising. That was one thing that helped me a lot one time. Yeah, it's a good coping mechanism, exercise or productive activity. Being busy with positive, productive activities and rediscovering your passion for things you love to do, that would go a long way. And finally, number 5, it's important to forgive your ex. It's important to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is not about forgetting the past. It's not saying, oh, the past didn't happen, scrap the past and pretend like it didn't happen. No, forgiveness is not that. It's about releasing yourself from the pain and from that negative emotions that might weigh you down. For me, what helped me find closure was forgiveness for both myself and my ex-partner. And I know forgiveness is not easy. It's not something someone can say to forgive the person and you just snap your fingers and you forgive them. But understanding that forgiveness is essential, it's important to let go of that pain and negative emotions that hold you back. For me, what also helps in forgiving is knowing that this person we once had, remembering the good side of them and thinking, okay, just didn't work out. I would take the good and forgive whatever hurt that they have caused me, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Now, I just want to say this. Finding closure after any breakup is an important step to healing and, moving on. And it might not be easy, but it is necessary to embrace the process and be open to new experiences. Just remember that closure is a personal journey. What works for one might not work for the other. So as much as it's a personal journey, it does take time and it does take self-compassion. Don't beat yourself up. Don't blame yourself, or don't dwell on blaming yourself. Whatever went wrong, it happened, and it's not about forgetting the past, but finding peace with the past so you can move forward in a positive way. Thank you for listening. I hope this episode helped you find some closure if you've been going through any sort of heartbreak. Join us next time for more discussions about love, relationships, life, and all things personal. Meet you again at another episode of Die True. Finding Your Truth with Efemena.